everyone, I'm Jasmine from English department. In this class, we will learn about auxiliary verbs, the primary auxiliaries and the modal auxiliaries. So before that, let us talk about verbs. Verbs denote the actions. He is walking, they are running, he is eating. So walking, running and eating, these words denote the actions. So now let us look at this picture. We can say that he plays volleyball. We can also say he is playing volleyball. In the first sentence, plays is a verb, and in the second sentence, playing is a verb. He is playing. What function does is have here? What can we say for is? So in this sentence, he is playing volleyball, is acts like an helping verb. So is the auxiliary verb here, and playing is the main verb. Let us look at other examples too. In this picture, we can say that Mark goes to school. We can also say Mark is going to school. The first sentence, goes is the verb, and the second sentence, is the auxiliary verb, and going is the main verb. These auxiliary verbs are also categorized as primary auxiliaries and modal auxiliaries. Again, primary auxiliaries are categorized as three different forms. They are to be form, to do form, and to have form. Now let us look at to be form. To be form includes am, is, are, were. And we will see examples for that. I am walking, he is writing, they were playing. So these are the to be form. Next, let us look at to do form, which includes do, did, and does. For example, I do not want to go there. He did not like it. She doesn't work anymore. So these are the to do form. And next, to have form, which includes have and has. I have not completed the task. She has not got it yet. So these are the examples of to have form. So now let us look at this sentence. I've seen the documentary. So here, if you observe, then you might have noted that instead of saying I have seen the documentary, I said I've seen. So VE is the contracted form of have, H-A-V-E. There are also other contractions like he's sleeping instead of he is sleeping. So apostrophe S is a contracted form of is. Mustn't for must not, shouldn't for should not, and doesn't for does not. So these are the contractions. Now let us learn about modal auxiliaries. What are these modal auxiliaries and why should we learn about them? Modal auxiliaries, they add information to other verbs. They are used while giving suggestions or advice. They add informations like adding possibilities or talking about uncertainties. For example, may I come in? It might rain today. So here, may and might are the modal verbs. So in today's class, we will learn about 9 main modal verbs. And there's an easy way to remember them. That is 3 M's, 2 S's, and 2 C's, and 2 W's. The 3 M's are may, might, and must. And the 2 C's are can and could. The 2 S's are shall and should. Now let us look at these individual modal verbs. First, might. Might is used to talk about possibilities or probabilities, like they might be eating dinner now, or she might give us a surprise. Now let us talk about may. May is used while talking about possibilities, like the teacher may be late today. So this is a possibility. May is also used while seeking permission, like may I come in or may I leave now. Now, must. Must is used while we are talking about some logical assumptions. For example, she must be stuck in traffic and that's why she's late. Now here we are making some logical assumption that she's late because she must be stuck in traffic. Must is also used while we are talking about some necessity. For example, you have to do it. Like, you must drink water. You must go home right now. Now, will. Will is used to indicate some future actions like I will meet you at 7 o'clock. Will is also used for showing some willingness like I will clean it all by myself. Here you're willing to clean this by yourself. Will is also used to ask polite questions like will you do this for me? The next modal verb is would. So would is used while we are asking some polite questions. Would you come with me? Would you do this for me? Would is also used while we are talking about preferences and desires. Would you prefer a cup of coffee or tea? And for desire, it is I would like to have an apple. The next modal verb is can. We use can when we are suggesting something. For example, you can eat later. So here, we are suggesting someone to eat later. Can is also used while you are asking some polite questions. Can you come with me? Can you do this for me? Can is also used while talking impossibilities like that can be true. Now, let us learn where do we use could. Could is used while we are talking about some past ability like he could speak French when he was 5. So here the ability is something which he had when he was 5 years old. Then could is also used while asking some polite questions like could I call you? Could is also used for suggesting. You could read that novel. So here you're suggesting someone to read that novel. The next modal verb is should. Should. When do we use should? We use it when we are recommending someone about something. Like you went out to have an ice cream with your friend and you're recommending your friend to try some flavor. Then you can say, you should try this flavor. Should is also used while you're making some uncertain predictions. Like, she should be reading now, but I'm not sure. Here you're not sure, but still you're trying to make some predictions. Should is also used when you're trying to say someone the right thing to be done. Like, you should help the needy. The next modal verb is shall. We use shall when you're making an offer. Shall I come with you? Or shall I help you with that? Here, you're offering your help. Shall is also used to make promise. For example, you shall have a bicycle on your birthday. Here, shall is used to make the promise. Now that we have seen the main 9 modal verbs, we will try to draw some conclusions by taking few examples. Can I call you? Could I call you? Here we are making polite requests. Can and could. Both are used for the same thing. Let's take other examples too. She might give us a surprise. She could give us a surprise. Here we are talking about possibilities, but we are using 2 different modal verbs. From these examples, we can conclude that different modal verbs can be used to express similar ideas. Also, the context is very important. Imagine you're having a conversation with your friend and you're having a conversation with the principal. So with your friend, you can say, can I leave now? But when you're asking the same thing from the principal, it's better that you use may. So you can say, may I leave now? Now, let us try to answer few questions based on what we have discussed till now. The first question is displayed for you on the screen, and the options are. So which of these options will you be using? Since it's a polite request, think over it. Yes, we should use can. Can I come with you? Now, let us see the next question. The question is, and the options are. This is a prohibition, so which among these modal verbs will you be using? The correct answer is must not. So we must not make the first move. Now let's deal with the last question. The question is, and the options are. So which is the correct one? Yes, must be. So more laws must be enforced while issuing license. In today's class, we have discussed about the auxiliary verbs, the primary auxiliaries and the modal auxiliaries, the 3 different forms of primary auxiliaries and the main 9 modal verbs. We also have solved few questions based on what we have discussed. So that's all for today's class. We'll meet you in the next session with some other topic. Thank you.